For the love of God, just don't be weird. Look, the reality of getting a full-time return offer at a big law firm and at most other law firms out there is that the bar is pretty low. And with full disclosure, this video will focus mainly on the standard of getting a return offer in big law, but the principles that I talk about in this video apply to other law firm internship settings and summer associate programs as well. And stick around to the very end for the most important tip. But the first rule is really simple, and it's just don't do anything flagrantly weird or off-putting. You can look at this video that I made for some examples of this. But what we're talking about are doing things like hitting on a partner's wife, essaying a fellow summer associate or attorney, saying off-putting comments like, "I can't wait to stop popping out Aryan babies," or even in one case, taking 2 summer associate programs at the same time without disclosing to either law firm that you were doing it. So I wish I could say that this rule is common sense, but apparently it's not. And every year there is some version of this story that goes around of a summer associate doing something outlandish and getting no offer because of it. So don't be weird. But also, bring a pen and a notepad anytime you go into an attorney's office, even if the meeting is not about work, but might just be a social meeting. You never know when you're gonna need to write something down like an email or a phone number or information about a case. So come prepared. Do not interrupt people ever. If the attorney in front of you just keeps talking to the point that you feel like you're not even a participant in the conversation, that's okay. This experience is not about having your feelings and thoughts and expressions validated and heard. This program is about being liked and showing that you're a compatible personality within the law firm setting. Interrupting people is never gonna do you justice in that regard, in my opinion. So let them talk, and when they're done, then add your thoughts or ask another question and keep the conversation flowing. While we're on the topic of conversation, stay away from things that are controversial. This isn't just a principle in summer associate programs in big law, but really for any career setting where you're trying to impress and wow those around you. You want to err on the side of caution and avoid being deemed politically incorrect or insensitive. It really is better sometimes to say nothing at all if the only alternative is a comment that could offend or alienate people around you. And to be clear, I'm not saying that you can't show your personality. Just be very thoughtful with how you do it so you don't offend other people. But also remember that the period that you're a summer associate isn't about letting your personality shine. You can let your personality shine a lot more once you get that full-time return offer and you return as a full-time attorney. So I know it can be hard feeling like you're walking on eggshells and always putting on a face. I've been there, but that is part and parcel to getting the returning offer, which presumably you want if you're watching this video. Do good quality work. Now I know you're probably thinking, Julian, that's easier said than done for you because you've been practicing law and you know what you're doing. How am I supposed to know how to do good quality work when I'm a law student who's just been debating justice and philosophy in my Socratic method legal courses and done nothing practical? I get it. But here's how you can show that you're still doing good work as a summer associate when your knowledge of the law is pretty limited. First, make sure that you pay very close attention to details. The easiest way to make sure you're getting the details correct in a memorandum or document drafts or in email is just reread it multiple times. Heck, even read it out loud to yourself. You will catch things when you read things out loud that you won't otherwise catch. When you're sitting down and receiving an assignment from an attorney, feel free to ask as many clarifying questions that you can think of so that you best understand the assignment and what you're going to need to do when you walk out of that lawyer's office. And while on the topic of asking questions, if you get stuck on the project, don't be afraid to ask for a quick follow-up meeting or even an email where you ask a couple of clarifying questions to the lawyer, because it's better to ask the questions to the lawyer when you're doing the work so that you eventually provide them with something helpful than to disappear, not ask them any clarifying questions, and then give them something that just isn't helpful to them. Now, if you're drafting a document, make sure to do the spell check, make sure to do the grammar check. Some law firms will have special tools like defined term checkers or syntax checkers. Make sure to use those too and exploit them so that whatever product you're giving to the lawyer clearly shows that you put a lot of thought and detail into it. Lawyers at these firms know that you don't know what you're doing, so it's not like they're going to expect your work product to be perfect or anywhere near perfect. But what they are evaluating is, does this person have a minimal level of competency that I can work with and that I can train up to eventually be helpful? So making sure that you're paying close attention to details and that you really understand the assignment as best you can, those two things will get you pretty far in doing good quality work as a summer associate. Be over communicative, not under communicative. Summer associate programs are often busy. You're going to be off-site doing field trips and having fun and going to happy hours and getting dinner with lawyers and lunch with different lawyers and coffee with different lawyers. And that means that every now and then there's going to be moments where you might need to cancel coffee with a lawyer because an event came up, or you might not be able to get that assignment done in time because the management management of the firm has called an all summer associates meeting and now you don't have time to finish it. In moments like this, it is so important and so helpful to the people working with you that you tell them, hey, by the way, I can't make that deadline that I initially thought I could because I have this meeting that's coming up and I can't miss it. Is there anything that I can do to better accommodate you and be helpful? Otherwise, I'm happy to get it done later by this time. I gotta be honest, guys, one of the most annoying things about working with certain junior associates, paralegals, whomever, is when they don't meet the deadline that you set and ask for, and they don't communicate that they're not gonna meet the deadline. It completely erodes trust in the working relationship because it makes me feel like I can't rely on you. And if I can't rely on you for a simple message saying, hey, Julian, this is actually gonna be done by 9 p.m. instead of 7, I'm just letting you know, well then how am I supposed to rely on you for getting the next project done on time, getting the important filing done on time, getting the high pressure IPO done on time? Not to mention, if we're not talking about work, but we're talking about something social, that's just annoying and not good taste to show up late or to tell somebody after the fact, hey, by the way, I can't make it to that coffee session that we had scheduled 30 minutes ago because I got stuck in this meeting. Don't leave somebody hanging like that, man. Not a good look. I feel like that principle applies to life in general, not just the big law summer associate setting, for the record. Try to avoid apologizing unless something really is your fault. Like I've said in this video, people understand that you don't know what the heck you're doing as a law clerk or a summer associate, so you don't have to apologize if you make a mistake and say, sorry, I missed that. Instead, say, thank you for your patience as I learned this. Change the perceived fault against you into gratitude for the other person. It's a small change, but it helps psychologically with the relationship feeling more constructive and productive. Exploit all of the opportunities to socialize during summer associate programs. When you're a summer associate, the goal from the law firm's perspective is not to extract value from you and get as many billable hours as they can out of you. Instead, what they're really evaluating is, are you a good personality fit for our law firm? Do our lawyers get along with you? When it's 3 a.m. and we have a filing deadline, we got to stay up till 5 a.m. in the room together on a Wednesday night, am I going to be driven crazy by your presence? Or is it actually going to be kind of fun and we're going to be friendly with each other and have a good time? That's the test that you need to pass as a summer associate. So to that end, take advantage of the happy hours that are offered by your law firm. Take advantage of the social events like baseball games or wine tasting or go-kart racing or rollerblading or all of the above. Be proactive and ask lawyers to go out to lunch just one-on-one so that you can better understand their practice area and their career. Ask attorneys to go on a coffee date. Ask them to go on an ice cream run. What you shouldn't do is hide in your office and be antisocial the whole summer. Because first of all, what are you doing in your office? Clearly you're not doing work because most summer associate programs expect like one assignment per week from you as a summer associate, which is like, I don't know, 5 hours a week of work. So if you're just sitting in there the whole time without talking to people, you're gonna look a little weird. And it also kind of looks like you're just collecting the paycheck and you don't care about the firm's greater community or investing in that firm at all. So take advantage of the social events. And finally, what I think is the most important principle you should follow if you're trying to get that returning offer at your firm is aim for the middle. And what I mean by aim for the middle is that I don't think that you should aim for the top of your summer associate class. The top being, oh, they're our star summer associate, they're the best. And of course, you don't want to aim for the bottom where you're slacking off on assignments, you're not showing up to social stuff, or maybe you make a mistake or you do something really weird like we talked about at the beginning of the video. Instead, you just want to aim right for the middle of the pack. And this principle mainly applies to the big law summer associate program setting where nearly all summer associates tend to get returning offers at these big law firms. You obviously don't want to aim for the middle if you're at a small law firm where only 3 out of 10 of the summer associates are getting offers. In that case, you want to aim for the top. You want to be one of those 3 out of 10. But in big law, most of the time, you're going to get a return offer if you're in the middle. So then you might wonder, okay, Julian, well, I understand why you're saying don't aim for the bottom because those people are probably going to get cut because they're not good performers or they're not good fits. But why wouldn't I aim for the top? And the answer is that if you aim for the top, you have a couple of risks that can actually backfire and leave you, yes, with a no offer. One risk is that you take on way too much work, you get overwhelmed, and you end up screwing up your assignments. You turn things in late. You turn in sloppy work product. You fail to communicate with your lawyers and you erode trust with them. It doesn't matter if you were only supposed to do 10 assignments and then you do 100 assignments, you feel great about yourself, but then in doing 100 assignments, 5 of them, you screwed up pretty badly. Because the lawyers who worked with you on those 5 assignments will know, and they will communicate that to the summer associate recruiting committee and the recruiting committee of the law firm. This applies to social stuff too. If you're doing way too much work that you miss out on important bonding moments with with other attorneys at these summer associate specific socializing events, then it might just look like you're being avoidant. And people might not actually get to know you, which is the whole point of these programs. And lastly, look, nobody wants to work with a gunner. You can be a high achiever and really competent and good at what you do without being an obviously over-competitive, narcissistic tryhard. And I think if you're aiming for the top in a summer associate program in Big Law where the stakes are so low, it can come off in a way that is not pleasant. So that's why I say aim for the middle. Do good work, don't overwork yourself, be pleasant to be around, and get that returning offer to come back full-time. Now, this is a note for those of you who may dread the prospect of networking and get super bad anxiety at the prospect that this is kind of like a 10-week interview. And my 2 cents to you is that is very normal. Take as many deep breaths as you can during those moments at these happy hours when you're feeling anxious. And remember that the point of the summer associate program is for you to win. It's not to make you compete with your peers. It's designed to be a pleasant and positive experience for you. And yes, it's designed to get you that returning offer to come back and make the big bucks and get the good training that you seek. So don't overthink it and just follow the principles we talked about in this video. If your goal is to work in Big Law and get that $200,000+ salary per year after graduating law school, then check out my $5 guide to getting into law school. The link is in the caption. It has all of the tips and tricks and frameworks that I use and that I recommend for folks to get into their dream law school. And it doesn't need to be Harvard, but the better your application is, the more money you're going to get in scholarships from whatever school you attend. I made it the price of a cup of coffee to be accessible to all of you. Hit that sub button if you haven't subbed already. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. For those summer associates out there, crush this. You're going to do great. I'll see you next time.